Game one last night at TSP. Freshman Sarah Bro in the third inning, unloading a 3-run shot. Her second on the year to get that huge start for Clemson over Virginia Tech. Sierra Manis came in the circle with a complete game where the Hokies only had 7 hits and left 8 on base and just could not get the big one as Clemson comes in here and takes game one 4-2 from Virginia Tech as they're looking to try and even the series tonight in game 2. And we welcome you to Blacksburg, Virginia on a mid-70s evening for some ACC softball at Tech Softball Park. Number 12, Virginia Tech, looks to rebound and tie the series up after an upset win by Clemson in game 1. We got a good one tonight. Tigers, Hokies, next. And hello everyone, along Smoking Time, the broadcast booth alongside Shelby Gwynn. I'm Ford Martin. Thanks for joining us. Game 2 tonight, we're excited about it. But Tigers last night, they kept Virginia Tech at bay.
Yeah, all credit goes to Sierra Manis in the circle, delivering that drop ball, keeping the Hokies on their toes, not getting a lot of solid contact. Her defense super clean behind her, but the bat, Sarah Bro specifically, showing up in the third inning with that big home run.
And there is the freshman from down in Miami. What a big performance she had last night.
Yeah, the freshman, but showing up and performing like a veteran with this hit to get them on the board early in the game. Some key plays on defense as well.
But then when you look at the other side at Virginia Tech, a bit uncharacteristic night for VT, a team that averages right around the 10 runs a game, 7 hits, 27 at-bats.
Yeah, typically a team known for the extra base hits, doubles, home runs specifically. Also a team known for performing under pressure. Runs allowed there in 2 outs, only 4, hitting just 2 for 9 in those 2-out scenarios. So that will be what the Hokies need to adjust going into game 2, showing up, delivering in those clutch, high-pressure situations, and staying clean on defense.
And starting in the circle, the freshman and Bree Carrico, 4th start on the season, an ACC best, 1.33 ERA, 9-0 on the season. And the last time we saw her here at this stadium was in game number 2 versus NC State, where she came in relief of Sophie Kleiman and pitched a shutout the rest of the way. NC State had a lead of 3-0 in that match, and she was part of the reason the Hokies were able to keep NC State from scoring anymore and able to help win that series there in game number 2. We are underway as Virginia Tech will start things off, and with Clemson inside the box, coming right up for our Clemson lineup, it's Jamison Brockenbrough. She will start things. How about the performance that she had? We saw in the little opening, the recap from game 1 last night, had a big save out there in center field and kept an opportunity where Virginia Tech could have had a couple runners there.
Yeah, very clean defense, a leader on the field, a leader at bat as well, really dominating that leadoff position. We see Carrico there in the circle, mostly known as a relief pitcher for the Hokies, but getting the start tonight.
That pitch outside, full count for the 3-2.
And you see there, Carrico's scouting report going to be in the mid, maybe upper 60s at most. Vertical profile here, meaning rise balls, drop balls is what we will mostly see. You see that drop ball there.
High fly ball to center, and glove by Foster.
So you will see Carrico mix in a little bit of her changeup, but she is going to stay more up and down with the rise ball and the drop ball tonight.
And now moving her way up to the plate, Kylie Chanel, the junior from Keystone Heights, Florida. 1 home run on the year, batting a .317 for the right-handed batter. Our first pitch goes on by, and it'll bring up ball 1.
And talk about defense, Kylie Chanel at shortstop last night saw a lot of action behind Manis in the circle, a drop ball pitcher, so a lot of ground balls specifically to the left side of the field.
Perfect swung on and miss.
There you see that mid-60s rise ball from Carrico, really jumping up into that upper part of the zone.
Coach Pete DeMore told me she's just unflappable, difficult to game plan against, and adjusts her pitch mid-swing and delivers for strike 2.
And you see a little bit of that drop changeup. So that was a low velocity pitch, but still has that drop ball spin on it.
Here's 1-2.
So the best strategy here for Clemson hitters with a pitcher like this that will both hit the upper part and the lower part of the zone is to pick one, right? Once there's 2 strikes, of course, you get to reaction, but early on in their counts, they need to keep their eyes either top of zone or bottom of zone.
2-2 pitch, and that one will drift foul. It's a player that just really has that consistent bat, just fits perfectly in the 2-hole. For Kylie Chanel here, she faces the 2-2. Pitch just goes ball there, and it'll bring up a full count once again. Back-to-back batters with 1 away. You see it right there, just the hardest to strike out here in the ACC, so we'll see what the freshman has up her sleeve inside the circle. 3-2, and we'll get her. Gets her looking, hardest to strike out, no problem there for Bree Carrico.
And that's an excellent pitch there by Carrico. She's mixing in that off speed. She gets that high rise ball, she gets that low drop ball, and then she's going to be finishing it off with that changeup, bringing it right in the middle of the zone, but on the outside corner. So a great mixture of zones and of speeds by Carrico.
Got her looking, and 2 away, and this will bring up the freshman in from Canton, Georgia, and Mac Pavesi. So freshman on freshman here.
Pavesi was a key player that we were looking for to perform last night. Not her best performance at the plate. We'll see what adjustments she makes today.
Through the glove of Carrico, and his underhand is the first, and a good start for the freshman. No runners on base, and VT, a look at their offense here on the other side from Blacksburg. Virginia Tech Hokies starting lineup. Starting things off with Addison Foster, and on deck, Jordan Ledge, an 8-game hit streak. The ACC Player of the Week for the first time in her career, and a tough lineup here for Virginia Tech, and curious to see how they respond tonight. Look here inside the circle, Abby Dunning. Now look at the circle start. Boston College transfer here, her 12th start on the season. That screwball primary, about the high 60 type of pitcher, and she'll get the assignment here for game number 2.
And last night we talked a lot about Sierra Manis kind of carrying the most of the work for the pitching staff of Clemson. Dunning being kind of that number 2. A much different look from Dunning than we saw Manis last night with the drop ball. Dunning will be coming with the rise ball and primarily screwballs. You see it right there.
Just off the tip of the bat, goes foul, 1-1. So Foster, there she is, the Stetson transfer. Scored in the second on Lynch's single for game 1 last night. And here's the 1-1 delivery. as that one just goes high and 2-1.
Yeah, the Hokies will need to be extra patient and picky about what they're going to be swinging at against a rise ball pitcher. The philosophy should be to kind of leave those rise balls and look for more of that flatter screwball.
We'll tie things up here at 2-2. A look right here at the scouting report on Abby Dunning.
Again, so we see the upper 60s, low 70s even up in the zone. You'll see that rise ball has a changeup, but we might not see much control of it there, possibly mixing in that drop ball. So really a mixture of all of the pitches, but primarily leaning on that screwball.
And just as we saw when Clemson was at the plate, starting things off for the full count, 3-2, with Foster at the plate here. Here's the full count. And goes foul off the tip of the bat. Pete DeMoore just talked about how she's just very underappreciated on this team. Going back to that series at Duke, was Virginia Tech's best hitter. Went 5 for 9, 2 doubles across that series, where ended up losing that one to the Blue Devils. Now faces the full count, and she'll get the walk and will jog her way to first.
We saw a drop ball there from Dunning. Again, we did say that she would mix that in. Maybe not her strongest pitch to be thrown in that full count scenario. Here's that called ball down there, low in the zone. We see it kind of drop down there at the end.
Well, here's number 16, Jordan Lynch, the sophomore from Maryland, now will step her way to the plate. Had an RBI in game 1, double to center in the 7th, with one out in the final rally that fell short. Made that big play at third as she was falling down to her knees in the 3rd inning. That we saw that was a great highlight play from her last season, so can really produce the plate and in the field.
Several times the headlines have said no sophomore slump for Jordan Lynch. I don't typically like to say that out loud, but we're deep enough in the season. I think that that is a pretty confident statement for her.
Tie for the team lead in home runs. Delivers right back. The plate a second, and she had to go up and reach it, and got it in time. Had to leap up and grab that one. What a play there by Chanel. Had to use all of her vertical to reach that one.
So you see Jordan Lynch have to reload and hold back for this changeup. Dunning immediately knows she needs to get that lead runner. She's able to hold on there and get that out at second.
Just the tip of the glove, had to use that bag to elevate to grab that one. Got the foot down just in time for one away. Jordan Lynch will advance to first, so runner on first, one away. Here for the Hokies, 1-0. Nora Abramovich, the sophomore from Fairfax Station, Virginia. This one's popped up to center. And glove down. Great easy play for Brockenbrough. A little bit easier compared to what she had for last night. As you take a look at their defense there, as you see in Jamison Brockenbrough. Not much of a change from last night. They did mess around the left field and right field during about that 4th inning, but I'm gonna go back to how things started out to begin that game. To 2 away with Zoe Yeager, Neptune Beach, Florida. Really been that first team ACC level performer that she's been here this season.
So you notice where Yeager is standing in the batter's box. She's in the very, very far back. That is to be able to battle the rise ball, get as much time as possible to see that ball break into the upper part of the zone. She's also a little bit away from the plate to be timed up on the rise ball. So she's definitely playing towards the scouting report for Dunning.
And we're gonna have our first visit to the circle with John Rittman. will make his visit out here, and there's a conversation. What's the conversation like right here so far with now already just having one runner on at first?
Well, you see Coach Rittman, he's not necessarily going, having conversation with too much of the defense, looking primarily at Dunning. So I think he's talking a little bit more pitching strategy here, with Yeager being very mindful of her power, knowing that the runner at first is going to be really taking a big lead here. 3-0 count, 2 outs. Virginia Tech is known for very aggressive base running. Only head coach in program history for Clemson, starting the program for them in 2020.
Over 1,000 career wins. A big get for this Clemson program. Now facing a 3-0 here. And a bit of a confusion. They thought that was ball 4. So did the crowd behind the umpire. And they're going to call strike 1. She started to navigate her way to first and then couldn't believe it.
We'll have another look at it here. Screwball on that inside part. We see the tracker there seem to be in the strike zone.
This one's lasered foul.
Yeager is...
And, oh, he almost grabbed the catch, tried to use a one-hander on it. He got close. And I believe if you return one of those softballs, you get I want to say it's a slice of pizza, I believe. Either way, a full count coming right up. Delivery, that's going to ground and find grass out to right. Jordan Lynch will advance to third. She'll slide, and the Hokies, runners on the first and third on the corners and in scoring position.
Well, we started the broadcast talking about how the Hokies struggled last night in those clutch situations. 2 strikes, 2 outs, and here comes Yeager battling off with the foul ball prior to this and then being able to punch that through the right side of the field. Perfect place that you want that ball with that runner at first. We're going to get it to the right side of the field so that Lynch can make that easy turn over to third. Now, runners in scoring position.
Tech 2 for 9 with 2 outs here. First delivery for ball 1, and saw right there in that last replay where Jordan Lynch had to just raise her knees there just a little bit and not let that hit her as she was advancing to second as that found its way out to right field. Here's Michelle Chatfield now at the plate. This one will pop up and just hit the top of the dugout.
I think we're going to be seeing more foul balls like that. The right-handed hitters against the screwball getting jammed up on the handle of their bats. Outfield is paying Chatfield the respect, staying deep near that warning track, giving themselves plenty of room to make this final out.
Hokies on the corners as you called another foul that we're going to see that just hits the netting and left.
These hard foul balls, you can expect to start to see an off-speed pitch here in the next couple pitches. And knowing the power that comes from Virginia Tech and from Chatfield specifically, keeping that changeup or the drop change low in the zone, not letting her reload and put it over the fence.
That was high. They throw to second in a bit of a pickle here. Tries to run back to first and will not be able to get it done for Yeager. And that is going to do it and retire the side. We remain scoreless at 0. Virginia Tech had a chance as Virginia Tech were able to get 1 as they take the lead here at the end of 1. as we begin the second inning and look at our head coach for Virginia Tech and Pete D'Amore, 8th season with the Hokies, got his 300th win with the program in the last series here at Tech Softball Park in game number 2 and that walk-off homer. So doing some good things here. 44 seasons with 40-plus wins at Virginia Tech. As we take a look at now the defense for Virginia Tech here momentarily as we start things off here at the top of the second. Carrico first pitch delivers for strike 1. So Macy Cintron, the sophomore from Cumming, Georgia, is that one off the tip of the bat and back into the netting. Just building back from that fall knee injury and just still wearing that brace. 2025 ACC Freshman of the Year. Broke that freshman RBI record with 51. Is that pitch we get for ball 1?
Just inside there for Carrico, very close to the corner of the plate.
Here's a 1-2. That's outside here for approaching now pitch number 20. What have you thought about the start so far here for Bree Carrico?
I think she's done great so far, actually mixing different parts of the zone. She's mixing different velocities too. So we saw that on the other side as well in Dunning.
That one goes out to right and gloved down there by Mazzell. For 1 away. Look here at that Hokies defense and Gabby Mazzell making that big play out and right. Addison Foster and center field. Akina Rose and a Hokies team that allowed 4 last night, and that loss to Clemson. Virginia Tech up 1-0 after Jordan Lynch was the lone scorer here so far. First pitch, strike 1. This one's ground to second. The easy throw to first in time.
I think we're already seeing a change in confidence in the Hokies from last night, being able to get on the scoreboard early. So far having that good success in the circle and on defense as well. The Hokies are actually 15-1 when they are scoring in the first inning. So a little fun fact for you there. I think that was maybe something missing last night, is getting that momentum and taking that control of the game early on.
We've seen a few times this season where the Hokies would allow, those opening big runs in bunches where it would allow 2 or 3 that you would see in the first 2 innings. And then as the game goes on, they start to settle down here. So right here, as you just mentioned, off to a better start to sort of get in command of this one.
And knowing Coach D'Amore, 1 is not going to be enough for him. It'll never be enough. Every inning really tacking on more and more. And 1 run is not safe against the Clemson hitters either.
There's Marion Collins, single to start the second inning rally. She drew a walk in the 4th and scored both times for the Tigers. Two away, and here's a 2-1. That one goes right through the glove of Yeager, and it'll bring up a 3-1 count. And get it for ball 4. So Collins will trot her way to first. First walk allowed here so far for Carrico. And now we'll bring up number 99 and Corey Hicks.
And Carrico's doing a great job, I think, just getting a little more control over that changeup is going to make a big difference. She's able to throw it for a strike, but also kind of skirt around the strike zone so that the hitters will go for it, but not have solid contact.
To the sophomore from San Jose, California, the Oklahoma transfer, with this Tigers team in a conversation here at the circle.
I'm guessing that Jaeger is talking about that changeup a little bit. The runner on first, you know, struggling with that control. It's not only not great for the batting scenario, but potentially letting that runner advance over to second, getting in that scoring position. Just kind of having her take a beat, regroup a little bit.
After allowing that walk where Collins made her way on base, the 1-0, and swung on and miss, and a good response there for pitch number 2. And swung and missed there for a strike 2. So whatever that conversation was in the circle to calm Bree Carrico down just a bit, comes out with back-to-back strikes.
Yeah. Some great spin on the ball there. I know probably to the viewer's eye it looks like it's a straight pitch, but she is spinning that ball, able to get those swing and miss.
So a 2-2 count on pitch number 32. 2 away, runner on first with Marion Collins. Pitch is high, and the 3-2.
So we're in that 2-strike, 2-out scenario again for the Hokies. This will be an important play to turn this inning over right after putting that run on the board.
Full count. Would advance to second after runners on first and second, that is, after the ball 4. So had a chance to put it away early with the 1-2 and multiple balls there, as now Clemson, for the first time, will get runners on first and second.
Yes, we see 2 walks there. Just want to remind everybody, if you missed the game last night, 4 walks in the game for Virginia Tech there came around to add up on the scoreboard as well. 4 walks, 2 runs were from those walks. So this is, again, a key scenario for Virginia Tech and for Carrico to be able to go back into the dugout with some confidence to get them out of this situation.
And here's one of those players that we talked about there in the open. Sarah Bro, second home run on the season yesterday in game 1 to give Clemson that big early lead. 3-run shot to left.
This is not necessarily the player you want up after those the last 2 at-bats being walks.
As this one and floats to right, the dive for it. That one just goes foul. I thought we saw Mazzell about to turn on the wheels there a bit and try and climb out for that one, but just sails foul. And the 0-2 coming up. Got her, strike 3. And that's going to do it for the side with Clemson. With runners on first and second, they'll get them out of a bind there. Strike 3 for Bree Carrico. She keeps Clemson scoreless here. Bottom of the second, coming up next.
in the circle for the Clemson Tigers, doing great so far to open up game 2 of this series. We see a lot of relying on a rise ball and a screw ball. You see several looks there so far this season. That is not changing too much tonight at Tech Softball Park against the Hokies. You see her placement there on the right side of the plate. That is her go-to screwball. She's been mixing a lot of different zones and velocities so far in these first 2 innings, so we'll kind of see if she sticks with that strategy or she goes back to old reliable.
Just been trying to find some of that consistency. I mean, you look at it, she had the program's 8th no-hitter back on March 7th against Georgia Tech. And so far, only 1 run allowed for the Hokies with a 1-0. Michelle Chatfield stepping up to the plate.
With Dunning's strong screwball as well, it's a good strategy against Virginia Tech to try to jam up those right-handed hitters. Yeah, the key will be to see if they can get around on it. So you see Chatfield there. We've seen several long foul balls from the Hokies to the left field line. So as the game progresses, their timing will get a little bit better. The hands will get a little bit faster. Have to see if Dunning adjusts with the screwball. Those are very close pitches, very close.
And we'll bring up the 3-1.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. Again, you're not throwing it to be on the plate. Not against Virginia Tech, not against heavy hitting teams like this.
That one just tipped off the top of the bat and to the netting, and we'll bring up full count. So Michelle Chatfield, the junior, one of the more consistent players on this Hokie squad, faces a full count here. And this one's popped up, drifting foul, and glove there by Pipkins.
Great communication there by Pipkins. She's the fielder that is going to be having the best chance at this ball, running forward, while Chanel at shortstop and Bro at third are going to be running back for that high fly ball. So great communication, clean defense there by Clemson.
Kylie Aldridge now here at the plate. The ET offense that really stalled against quality pitching. They entered that series yesterday batting a .378, averaging about 8.5 runs per game. Off to a better start tonight than game 1. That pitch sails high for ball 1.
So Aldridge hitting on the left side of the plate. Now the screwball for Dunning is going to be on the outside part of the plate, so that's the zone that she'll be keeping an eye on.
That one just sails foul over to left. Bring up strike 2. So 1-2 here, 1 away. Chatfield's hit sort of in that same direction over towards third. Was fouled up for out number 1. And the 1-2 here. And just off the tip of the bat. And just as we were talking about, you said we would expect to see some of these fouls here keep carrying on tonight.
I think that's kind of Virginia Tech's philosophy there. You know, if they're not hitting the ball well, they're going to continue to foul it off and improve on each swing, improve on each at-bat, each inning.
This one's sent right over to second. The throw to first, and safe. So turning on the wheels, Kylie Aldridge.
Great hustle there by Aldridge getting down to first. Hard hit ball up the middle. Sometimes it doesn't always look like a nice double or a nice home run. Whatever you got to do to get on base there. That is a very close play. A little too early in the game to call for review, but as we slow it down, looks like a clear, safe call there.
Mac Pavese tried to stretch it out to hold on to it as that one is popped up and grabbed there by Pavese.
Jammed up on the hands there again.
So now 2 away with a runner on first. Rachel Castine, who remember made noise in that walk-off homer in Game 2 versus NC State a couple weeks ago. Had 2 home runs in that game versus the Wolfpack. Went 0 for 3 last night. Looking to get back to her style of play. Here's the 1-0.
Great placement. Great job by Hicks as the catcher to kind of frame up that pitch, make it look a little bit nicer.
Aldridge at first for the Hokies. Check that one out, and we'll bring up ball 3.
I'm surprised they didn't call to check the swing on that one.
The 3-0, and runners will advance to first and second. Aldridge will make her way to second, Castine to first. And now Akina Rose will make her way to the plate, but not before a visit from John Rittman here to the circle.
I think it's smart for Coach Rittman to have another visit there to the mound. You know, although the Hokies last night were not great in the 2-out situations, they typically are, statistically, they are good in those 2-strike and 2-out scenarios. So I think this is good timing for him to regroup with the infield and with Dunning, make sure everybody's on the same page with the approach here against Annika Rose.
So Lily Palante, the pitch runner that will come in here. So this is someone that could really just fly around the bases.
That's a great substitution there, trying to really tack on and keep the momentum going offensively for Virginia Tech. Having Palante at second is going to give you the best chance. As long as this ball gets through the infield, good things are going to happen.
Anika Rose with a plate. Annika Rose here, the 1-0. With 2 away, runners on first and second. This one will reach over, nearly a grab. Palante will score. That went through the glove of Chanel. She would have had out 3, but as she dove for it, fell out. And the Hokies strike again, 2-0.
A great response by the Virginia Tech Hokies going into Game 2, coming out hot in both the first and second inning. Great effort there at shortstop by Chanel, but a hard hit ball by Annika Rose. Heads up base running, getting to the bags quickly, scoring from second.
Throw to first in time. So the Hokies double dip, and they score one again. 2-0 here on a good night in Blacksburg. Hokies on top 2-0. A chance to visit Clemson head coach and John Rittman. Coach, down 2-0 early, or looking for any adjustments here?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a pretty good eye at the plate. We've had a couple of strikeouts that I was disappointed in. Walked a couple times, got to get that timely hit, and got to make a couple plays defensively. It's a very good hitting Virginia Tech team. We know that, and just got to put pressure on them offensively. So we know we got to score. We've had an opportunity. Let's see if we can make something happen here in the third inning.
Coach, what are the conversations like with Dunning in the circle, those couple conferences that you've had?
Yeah, just to settle her down. You know, she's she's being a little bit too fine with her pitches, and he's not calling the river, so you're not going to get that pitch. You got to throw strikes. So just settle her down a little bit, try to get her in rhythm.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that's John Rittman. Talked about it, over 1,000 career wins. First head coach for Clemson in their program, finds them down 2-0 here. And game number 2 of the series. Great night here, great crowd for game number 2. Clemson took game 1 4-2. And now the Hokies have struck back with one run in each inning so far as we begin the third, as that pitch just sails on Carrico for ball 1. Right down the middle there for strike 1.
Mixing in that off speed. Carrico had a lot more control on that pitch than what we were seeing last inning with that same changeup. Bringing it back to back. That is risky.
Yeah, Pipkins had to look right back towards it.
I like to see it. You only do that when you've got confidence in that pitch.
Here's the 1-2. And swung on a miss, but just tipped after the head of the glove of the catcher that throw to first, and one away.
Great at bat, great approach there by Carrico, getting that drop ball, higher velocity than the 2 changeups we saw previously. Getting Pipkins to kind of chase down in the zone. Yeager finishing that off by throwing down to first base just to make sure.
Reset top of the batting order, and Brockenbrough.
We did see Brockenbrough show bunt a couple times last night as well. Ultimately hitting, though. We didn't see her mix in bunt or slap. So typically standing and swinging, but it does keep the defense on their toes. You do see Jordan Lynch at third coming in close here.
We'll get it for ball 1. So the 1-1 with 1 away.
You see the defense there. Jordan Lynch off the line as well as in close near the pitching circle.
Just inching in right there as you were talking about Brockenbrough showing that bunt. Now faces a 1-2 here, 1 away.
And if Brockenbrough is going to go with her slap, she needs to see that open third base line and be looking for something on the outside part of the plate, just like this. That's exactly what she wants to do, is kind of go along that third base line, knowing that Lynch playing third base is quite a bit off of the line. So looking for the outside pitch is going to perfectly place it, getting it through the infield.
Here's the 1-2. That one slapped to short. The throw to first in time. Tomorrow we'll have a pair of series finales. Number 10, Florida State hosts Notre Dame at Joanne Graff Field at 2 Eastern. And at 6, these two teams right here, they finished their series right in Blacksburg. Both games are available on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Virginia Tech looking to tie the series tonight after dropping game 1. Should be a fun one tomorrow evening, same time at 6 p.m. Eastern. As it just hits the tip of the bat and goes foul. See Kylie Chanel 0 for 1 tonight Got caught looking on her first time at bat. Batting right there at that 3-1-4. And gets it for strike 2.
Another great location of that changeup. Seems like there was maybe some conversation in the dugout from last inning on how to regain that control of that pitch.
This one's popped up here, and Mazzell will get it for out number 3. So Virginia Tech, and a good start. Here's a keep Clemson at 0. We'll be right back here from Blacksburg. Series between the number 7 Florida State and number 3 Georgia Tech. Thursday and Friday night's games are on the ACC Network, with the series finale on the ACC Network Extra. These games are also available on the ESPN app. That's going to be a fun one to watch. The Hokies with their chant going here, with Jordan Lynch back up here at the plate. We talked about it, the ACC Player of the Week. Comes up to the plate, has one of the runs so far for the Hokies. As that just goes foul.
See, she's hitting .475 batting average on the season. Just absolutely insane. As a sophomore as well, still really kind of getting things figured out. Clearly she has figured it out.
When you see a player like Jordan Lynch, just what is it about her that it sticks out that makes her so good at her game?
I think she just shows up every day and goes to work. We've heard Coach DeMoore say that. You see there her batting average by pitch location. I mean, she is dangerous if you get it anywhere close to the zone. So she's got a good eye for the ball. She has that patience you see there, most of the time laying off of things that are outside of the zone. So she's really waiting and kind of forcing pitchers to bring it on top of the plate, and then she's really going to make them pay for it.
The All-American type year that Pete DeMoore was mentioning in our call earlier this week. She'll go and retrieve her bat that went flying.
Sometimes you swing so hard, you don't know where it's going.
Put a lot of muscle into that one. I was wondering where she was going, and she had to go retrieve her bat. Look at that.
Yeah, so she's really reaching out, just trying to get a foul there. That ball is well off of the plate, just happened to let loose a little bit.
There's a 1-2 as that one lasers out.
A couple hard foul balls, again, keeping an eye on the off-speed pitch at any point. They did exchange something there, so that does look like a coin or something of some kind, a coupon.
I tell you what, if you're sitting out there in left field about what the foul line is at,
look alive.
I mean,
yeah,
you better keep your head on the swivel.
Yeah.
And the lounge chairs having a good time.
That's a great way to spend a Friday night in
Yes, it
Blacksburg.
is. See, we saw a couple dogs out there in left field under the trees. It's a perfect night for some softball. Great weather, mid-70s. And they're going to get her looking for strike 3 for Jordan Lynch.
Great job by Dunning, keeping Lynch kind of off balance there. Had some very far outside pitches in that at-bat. We'll see this final pitch here coming inside. Curveball, lower in the zone as well. You can tell there kind of the buckling of the knees. She might have thought it was a ball, but I think really it just caught her off balance there.
Here's Nora Abramovich. That will step her way up here. 0 for 1, set that fly out. We saw earlier in her first at bat, right there at a .379 batting average. Tied there with Jordan Lynch, who just was up moments ago for the lead in home runs on the team. 2 quick pitches inside for ball 2.
Coach Rittman talked about the conversation with Dunning to kind of settle in a little bit. Seems like she has really started to focus more in this inning.
So a 3-0 with 1 away. Approaching pitch number 51 for Abby Dunning. Her 12th start of the season. And ball 4. 4 pitches, 4 balls. And Abramovich will trot her way to first. So Zoe Yeager, the catcher, will now make her way to the plate. So that one just goes foul on the foul line.
Yeager is learning from those at-bats. She's ready for those inside pitches.
Right there at that .365 batting average, 8 home runs on the year, 40 RBIs. It's a slow sinker for about that 51 miles per hour pitch there. Bring up strike 2. Abby Dunning trying to close it out. Pitches, stretches right out for Abramovich. Would have stuttered her way to second. She came off the bag. It comes right back to second. Now runners on first and second for the single for Zoe Yeager.
Great work by Yeager, just trying to put the ball in play. Doesn't always look pretty. She was, prepared for those inside pitches. That ball being on the outside part of the plate, got the edge of her bat. We'll see Dunning reach out for it, kind of tip off of her glove. Unfortunately, it slows down too much to be able to make a play at first.
So Michelle Chatfield will make her way up now to the plate. Runners on first and second. Abramovich at second, Yeager at first. The 1-0 pitch. They're going to call it just strike. So just inside the box. This one's hit out to left, back at the wall, and it's gone! A 3-run homer for Michelle Chatfield.
The Hokies have shown up, responding from game 1 last night, dropping 4-2, but showing up with their power with the bats. Michelle Chatfield, known as being that clutch hitter for the Hokies. We'll take another look here. She is timing up that screwball on the inside part of the plate, gets her barrel around on it, and long gone.
Her 7th home run on the season, and the Hokies out to a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. See right there, that exit velocity, 68 miles per hour and going 224.
Yeah, getting the barrel around there. You have to have that fast bat speed, fast hands, getting inside part of the softball. to be able to turn around and supply that much power. So this will be interesting to see how Dunning responds here, if she's still staying confident with that screwball.
Aldridge now will step up here. What have you seen out of Abby Dunning? Have you seen anything that she sort of changed as far as her pitches, or is this Virginia Tech just now starting to kind of figure her out here a little bit as the game has gone on?
Yeah, I think the latter. I think Virginia Tech is just figuring it out and being able to make adjustments with their swings, particularly the right-handed hitters, again, are going to struggle the most with that screwball curving onto the inside part of the plate. I think Dunning is mixing a lot more of her pitches than I anticipated coming into today. So we've seen all of her pitches here. We see a drop ball there. Previous pitch was a curveball. We've seen her mix the changeup, rise, screw. So while that can be great, sometimes it's better to just lean into your go-to pitch and focus on what's successful. So a lot of mixing there in different zones. So we'll kind of see how that strategy adjusts.
This one's sent to left again and might have a chance. Just hit the top. And he dives for second in time, and she's safe. There's a double for Kylie Aldridge. Her third double on the season.
That seemed to be quite a bit more velocity there off the bat. Getting all the way to the wall there. I think even for a second, a pause there in the outfield, thinking it's going to go over the fence. Phenomenal outside swing there. You see her delay the barrel just ever so slightly, so she has good timing right off the top tape of the wall, and really heads up base running by Aldridge as well. She's rounding first and making sure she's getting that dive to be safe into second. That's huge. One out, and now she's standing on second versus standing on first. It might not seem like a lot, but it is a big difference, especially knowing that the Hokies are starting to fire up those bats.
I think about everybody in attendance thought that one was gone again, and have our second home run of the inning, and it appears we're going to have a change in the circle right here. Kiera Crosby, give her a chance to warm up. We're going to take a break ourselves here. Virginia Tech out 5-0. Highlight lacrosse matchups in Durham. The number 8 ranked men host number 14 Virginia at noon Eastern. Then at 4, number 18 women host number 3 Syracuse. Both are available on ACC Network and the ESPN app. So new pitcher inside the circle for the Clemson Tigers. Kiera Crosby, the freshman from Texas, will come in relief for Abby Dunning. After Dunning allowed, which almost turned out to be the second home run of the inning, with VT out 5-0 here.
So we're mixing in something a little bit different with Crosby that we haven't seen with Manis or with Dunning. Going to be bringing the velocity down ever so slightly, more so low 60s that we're going to see from Crosby.
That one just sails on her for Crosby.
She's going to be working a little bit more in the horizontal plane here, so curve, screwball, potentially mixing in a little bit of a changeup, but with that lower velocity, you got to be careful with a changeup. It's a phenomenal pitch, though. She clearly does a great job of it. 48 mile an hour there.
When you see Coach John Rittman where he comes out and has a conversation with Crosby if she had a chance, I mean, what are those conversations like as she comes in here for the young freshman?
I think it's focus on strikes. You know, focus on having good pitches, pitch to pitch.
As that one finds grass. As Aldridge thought about turning it towards home. She'll stay at third. So runners on the corners for VT.
I think the other part of the conversation, I'm sure, putting Crosby in, one as a freshman, first time facing Virginia Tech, but letting her know they're gonna score. They're gonna keep scoring a little bit, right? We gotta stop the bleeding. We gotta limit the scoring. We gotta limit the hard hits, kind of kill the momentum right now. But I think that's important to address with any pitchers against Virginia Tech, but especially young ones. You need to not let extra runs or hits bring you down.
That one hit right in the direction of Aldridge. Had the duck for that one as that sails foul for strike one. One away. Aldridge on third. Mazel on Fritsch.
We've seen some great adjustments by the Hokie hitters from last night, game one into game two, having 7 hits already on the board in this third inning, and we are tying the number of hits that the Hokies had all last night. Only 7 hits last night for them. We're already at that for game two. So huge adjustments from Friday into Saturday. Excuse me, Thursday into Friday. That Easter weekend throws me off.
Easter weekend pushing things up here just a bit.
So clearly some discussion between last night and tonight, making adjustments at the plate quickly.
This one's popped up towards right and gloved for strike, or out number 2, that is.
And that's a big win there by Crosby. That's a big out, being able to keep the batters off balance enough to get some of those fly ball outs, those pop-ups. Not having to be a lights-out strikeout pitcher. That should not be the focus for tonight. Excellent changeup again, 45 miles an hour.
So Annika Rose, the junior from Lovettsville, Virginia, and the Woodgrove product. Here, trying to go for that bunt.
Possibly a 2-out squeeze play there. Looked a little bit like runner at third had a pretty good leap there. I wouldn't say it's out of the question for Virginia Tech to make a call like that in this scenario.
This is where VT failed to strike out a lot of these scenarios last night. They're going to throw to first, and they will not capitalize on that, as that's going to retire the side. We'll have a word with head coach for Virginia Tech and Pete Demore coming right up on the other side of the break. VT out front, 5-0. Tech out front. Now we're going to bring in the head coach for Virginia Tech and head coach Pete Demore. Coach, thanks for joining us. Carrico getting the start. What do you like about her game so far?
Typical Bree, mixing pitches, mixing speeds, throwing strikes, and unflappable.
Coach, you've had runs on the board every inning so far. What were the main adjustments from last night's hitting into tonight?
Well, totally different pitcher, totally different type of pitch that we got to hunt today. So I thought today more about adjusting to the speed of Dunning. She's throwing a little bit harder than the kid was last night, and we caught up to it.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it. Gobble, gobble.
It's the Hokies out front 5-0 in this one. As head coach Pete DeMore, he really talked about it again. Use that word unflappable. Use that in the call earlier this week. Says it right here again. And it's a player that's been difficult to game plan against, and so far has the shutout. Had that shutout in the game versus NC State. Trying to keep it up here as we move into the top of the fourth.
See Mac Pavesi come to the plate here. 4 home runs on the season. Struggling a little bit so far in this season in this series, to make solid contact. It's a great adjustment by her, though. Hard hit ground ball over to third. Jordan Lynch able to glove it.
Bit of an easier of a throw compared to the play that she had to make last night.
Yeah, we see here she does play quite a bit off the line, but this is in her advantage here. It's on her glove side. She's able to quickly move those feet, makes it look very smooth, very easy over to first. A sophomore. I mean, I would have, you watch her play, you would guess that she's more of a senior, maybe even a fifth-year senior. She has a lot of confidence and poise at both her position on the field and absolutely in the batter's box as well. An impressive player.
Player that was ranked number 10 nationally by X-Training Softball coming out of high school, and she has been everything that VT has gotten from her to start her softball career in Virginia Tech. Sarah Bro will now make her way to the plate. Again, a player that, or excuse me, in Centron that is. 0 for 1 here so far. And faces a 3-0 count. And get it for ball 4.
Great speed there by Carrico, low in the zone as well. Not a bad pitch. I think she's out on the mound now in the top of the 4th inning with quite a bit of confidence, having those 5 runs on the board. She's feeling good with her Hokie hitters behind her.
So just a pinch runner that's going to make her way on here for the Tigers. It's going to be Kylie Johnson, the junior from Wesley Chapel, Florida. Another player that has the wheels for this Tigers team. John Rimm was talking about, she's one of those best defensive outfielders on this roster. It's 9 stolen bases on the year, really been elite in that category for this club.
Seeing time called here. Looks, yeah, we're gonna have a visit to the mound. Possibly regroup here with the strike zone.
Yeah, it's a 2-0 here to start out. So 6 straight balls she threw out here at the start. The last ones that she's had. So just a quick visit right here. Just a conversation with Josh Johnson.
Yeah, likely just making some small adjustments. You know, maybe even just talking about the mental side of it. Again, having that confidence with 5 runs on the board, there is not much that needs to be said or that needs to be adjusted here.
Bree Carrico that's played really well here in this one. Keeping the shutout streak going. That's a good response for the Hokies after last night. And a good response there for the sophomore.
Always
she
great.
Swung on a miss.
Always great to come out of a conference with a strike there. So we see an infield shift here significantly in the middle, a little bit over to the right side.
And comes right back with 2 deliveries right down the middle for strike 2.
So the scouting there for Noller, you'd be able to predict that she's going to be hitting most things up the middle of the infield, maybe a little bit to the right side of the field.
And how about the response from Bree Carrico? Had 6 balls she threw in a row and comes back for 3 straight down the middle.
So we see Carrico really bring it in up high in the zone there and able to seal it, that inside part of the plate. So the shift was on. So of course the balls are going to be pitched more on the inside part of the plate there to Noller. And so maybe part of that conference out there too was letting Carrico know, hey, we've got this extreme shift on. You really need to lock in here and hit your spots pitching. It was a great job, great execution by the Hokies. 4
strikeouts on the day. Now the clean hold as Kylie Johnson will advance to second. So the 1-1 with 2 away. And right down the middle for strike 2.
Hitting that top outside corner of the zone. 2 strikes, 2 out situation here.
This one's grounded to first. Just a quick step on the bag there for Chatfield. And that will retire the side. VT, a good start as they're out 5-0 on a perfect Friday evening. Tech rocketing their way out here to a big lead and a nice response after game 1. The fans having a great time here at Tech Softball Park. Got the dogs out here. Everyone enjoying some good softball for the ACC matchup between the Tigers and the Hokies. 7 hits here for the Hokies. They've already matched what they had from last night.
Yeah, able to produce 5 runs from those 7 hits versus last night, same amount of hits, only 2 runs. So great job coming in clutch situations and really finishing the innings, finishing the situations, getting the runners in.
So Abby Dunning, that started things out for the Tigers. Now Kira Crosby coming in relief for her. She has now made her way into the circle now to start the bottom of the 4th.
Like Coach DeMore said, the difference for his offense between last night and tonight was really just an entirely different pitcher, just possibly a better matchup for them. And now here we are with a 3rd pitcher with some different things to look at as well.
Good for strike 2, and the fans didn't like that one. They thought it tucked in just a bit. Some shifting that we saw in game 1 where Clemson messed some things around. Pipkins will move out to right. So that one goes foul.
Sometimes we see changes like that from pitcher to pitcher, right? Or if the the pitching strategy, the pitch call strategy changes a little bit, just wanting to put certain outfielders in certain positions based off of how you're planning to pitch to the hitters, or what kind of strengths your pitcher is bringing versus, Dunning bringing in the previous innings.
Here's a 1-2 that pops up into left and just stays there a bit too much, and one away. So Johnson coming in and getting some action right out of the gate. So here's Jordan Lynch for the 3rd time today. Already has a run on. Adding to that 5-run lead, and got close to almost grazing the elbow. Had to put on the moves to avoid that one.
It's how you know you have a confident hitter. She's not turning and just taking that pitch. She wants to stay in the batter's box. She's going to find a way to get out of the way of that ball because she wants to swing.
Well, when you see those stats right there, it shows that she can produce. And she's producing another hit out against the wall. She'll slide and or just jog her way back over to second. Gets the double. Jordan Lynch.
So we see the difference there. That hit by pitch, she's just standing on first base versus keeping the bat in her hand, doing what she does best, being aggressive to the pitch, getting a good piece of bat on the ball. You see this swing here. I mean, fully getting all the way around on it. And she is a hustler. I mean, she makes her way to second in a hurry.
She had a double to center in the 7th last night, and she'll do it all over again for double out to center. And now a runner on at second. One away. Now Abramovich will step her way to the plate. Swung on and missed there for strike 1.
And last night and coming into today, we talked a lot about how Clemson pitchers were using their defense, keeping the ball low, keeping the ball mostly on the plate, fielding ground balls. A little different strategy here with the pitchers we've seen so far.
As the sun's starting to set here at TSP. The 1-2. And a check. And ball 2.
Great stop by Hicks behind the plate there. Keeping the ball in front, wanting to keep Lynch at second. Great adjustment. Chest right over the ball.
This was hit right. That one ricochets off the pitcher. The tag at first. He tries to slide, but can't get there in time as Clemson will have 2 away. Jordan Lynch will advance to 3rd.
Doesn't seem to be affecting Crosby too much. Must have kind of hit her in the perfect spot of her shoe. It did sound pretty bad. You hear the oohs and ahs from the crowd. Did not sound good, but coach is going to come out and just make sure that she is all right.
You want to talk about ricocheting in the right direction. It went direction right there, Pavesi.
Yeah, great heads-up play by Pavesi to keep playing and make that play. So hard hit there. She got a good piece of the bat on that changeup. We'll have another look, see exactly where it hits her.
Yeah, yes. Back of that right heel.
Yeah. So I think she kind of got a little lucky there. Had most of the shoe instead of a bone or a muscle.
So 2 away here. Zoe Yeager will step up. Virginia Tech trying to keep the streak of at least 1 run in every inning so far. They're held scoreless in the bottom of the 4th, 2 away. This pitch is sent out to center and gloved. And that is going to do it. So that will retire the side. So the Hokies will come up empty in that one with Jordan Lynch sitting there on 3rd. They still hold the lead. Now they're by 5.
So all out-of-market games, live or on demand, plus all your favorite sports on ESPN. We need to tell the people, Carl.
We're doing it right now.
ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv. All out-of-market games, live or on demand, all in one place.
5-0 your score, and we got Dippin' Dots out here at TSP. Everyone having a good time, and they say it's the ice cream of the future. It's Back to the Future night. So that kind of maybe worked together as that one's popped up high up in the air. I mean, that's got some serious hang time and gloved right there by Rose. But I guess we can kind of mix that together. It's Back to the Future night. You have Dippin' Dots, the ice cream of the future. But I feel like now we're already into the future of Dippin' Dots because that was introduced so long ago.
It does feel like almost a throwback, but yeah,
Yeah,
it is
that's right,
of the future, a little mixture there, yeah.
It's the future already.
Great crowd tonight, though, at Tech Softball Park.
Enough to make Dot Brown say, "Great Scott." So Bree Carrico, look at the ranks that she's had here in the ACC, that ERA that really sticks out there at the top of the list, and so far keeping that shutout streak going on the Tigers. We saw there where she got a bit of a bind, where got in a couple tough positions, but responded nicely with a couple strikeouts. So far, she's got 4 on the evening.
Still mixing in that off-speed pitch, which is a great strategy here against Sarah Bro, the hero of Game 1 last night.
This one's popped up again to short, and Rose will grab that one again.
Bro just got under that ever so slightly, so that's a pretty dangerous pitch there to be delivering to her. Carrico's able to place it just enough to make sure that it stays in a glove.
And here's one of those, in head coach John Rittman's words, those gritty competitors and Taylor Pipkins. As that one sails foul. 0 for 1 so far this evening, batting that .224 average on the season. This one's hit out to left. This might have a chance. Back at the wall, and it's gone. So Clemson, they're on the board. Taylor Pipkins gets her second home run on the season.
Just the first hit of this game for Clemson. She's greeted with excitement by her teammates, exchanging high fives everywhere. Although they still have some work to do, that's a great confidence boost. Really able to get all of her bat around on that inside, low inside pitch, but she's able to lift it up over that left field line. We'll see a shot here, how close it was to the fence. Clearing it easily there.
That RBI single through the left side, and the fourth that played the insurance run last night in Game 1 comes back with the home run here, and the Tigers are on the board. And there's that chain right there, the little ATM, waiting for get that the money going they have for the attack the moment.
She's struggling to take it off her helmet.
The helmet's on the way. Now we'll see if this will jumpstart this Tigers team. Here's they're officially on the board, down by 4 in the top of the 5th.
That is part of the personality of this Clemson softball team, is to be pretty rowdy in the dugout, to keep high energy, to hype each other up. You're not going to hear a whole lot of quiet in the dugout. Last night they were ahead. We heard the cheering. Tonight they're behind. We're still hearing them. Fair ball there.
Yeah, just got enough of that one where she sprinted to first. And now runner on at first here for Brockenbrough.
I think that's the second or third swinging bunt that we've seen in
just
these
about.
2 games. I think I said it last night. It's the hardest hit to defend there. It's a tricky play. It was right there at the corner, top corner of the batter's box, fair territory.
Had to turn on the jets and race away out there to first to get there in time. From the flux capacitor to get out there just in time for that
nice.
one. That one grounds out, finds grass to right.
Nice
As
little
runners will
momentum
advance,
shift.
advance to the base.
Nice little momentum shift here for the Tigers.
So 2 outs right away here now. And a quick conversation with Bree Carrico. The last time they went up and visited her, she responded back nicely. But as the game has gone on, what is it that you've seen from Bree? Where just like these conversations go? Is it just more so like, because they just had a visit not too long ago. What is it like now? Is it more so just looking on the batters that are coming up, or is it just like just a quick check-in?
Yeah, I think just a check-in, a little bit more of like breaking up the momentum and the energy that Clemson has developed here in the last 2-3 at-bats. I don't think they're necessarily talking strategy out there. I think they're just being, hey, let's give the crowd and everybody a chance to settle down here before we get into this next at-bat.
So Brockenbrough on second. Chanel at first. But Pavese, the freshman. So Pavese will see that one go and be ball 2.
Strong opinions in Tech Softball Park tonight with the strike zone.
And they've had a lot of them tonight.
They have been close. They're definitely skirting around the strike zone there. I think the tough part in college softball now is that the hitters are so good that they should be able to hit the ball, half a ball or maybe an entire ball off of the plate. So sometimes the strike zone can be a little wider, sometimes it can be a little tighter because the hitters are so good.
Well, now all this again with 2 outs, bases loaded. And you have the tying run stepping up at the plate.
Yeah, so I think this visit is definitely strategy here.
Try to break things up here just a bit. So the question, can they get Bree Carrico get out of this bind here? As the Clemson dugout loving what they're seeing right here in this response in the top of the 5th. It was tough sledding early on going up against the sophomore in Carrico, and after we saw a first shutout inning for the Hokies, they started out with a couple runs in the first and second, had a 3-run inning in the bottom of the 3rd, and were shut out in that 4th. They had a chance for the Hokies to add to it with Lynch on at 3rd. Couldn't capitalize, and the Tigers come back already with a home run.
Looks like Macy Cintron's re-entering the game here, coming up to the plate.
So Pipkins, who already has a home run in this inning to get Clemson on the board. So Macy Cintron, 0 for 1 today, did get on base with that walk. With the bases loaded, the 0-1 with 2 away and gets her for strike 2.
Great work here by Carrico, getting ahead in this count. 0-2, 2 outs, bases loaded.
Big moment in the game here. As this one gets some hang time, but goes back toward the parking lot. And we'll keep it right at the 0-2. This one's hit out to left, back at the wall, and gets it for out number 3. So with the Hokie crowd thought we might sing a tie ball game, it keeps it at a 4-run lead for the Hokies. Taylor Pipkins getting Clemson on the board as we go into the bottom of the 5th. Virginia Tech leads by 4.
mess around with this OU.
Stanford firmly in control.
Huge weekend for Florida State.
It is gone! She slams it into the ground.
That's going to be a good weekend of some softball coming right up. Virginia Tech and this one here up by 4 over Clemson as we now move away into the bottom of the fifth. Some good softball all the way around here. Some good one today where Clemson, it looked like they might had a chance to get the grand slam there and tie things up. They get out of a bind for Bree Carrico. And it will keep it at a 4-run lead here for the Hokies. Michelle Chatfield will step up to the plate. Already has a hit today, and that was a big one, that 3-run home run that she had earlier. That was in that bottom of the third.
Crosby doing a great job so far, keeping it a little bit lower in the zone. That first pitch, long foul ball to the right field line. So making a little adjustment there, mix in the off speed, keep it low in the zone.
There's a 3-1. And get it for strike 2. Sort of opposite of what we saw last night. We haven't seen many of those full count opportunities here tonight in those scenarios where we saw pretty much almost the complete opposite there in game 1. As that just, there goes foul. Chatfield, the 2-time ACC Player of the Week and the D1 Softball National Player of the Week. Faces a 3-2, pops up to center, and Brockenbrough will catch it.
Just a little bit on the outside part of her bat there. Outside pitch, kind of reaching for it. Not great contact on that one. Can't hit them all over the fence, you know.
That's right. Callie Aldridge, a senior from Hope Mills, North Carolina, the Grays Creek product. 2 hits today. There are 2 appearances at the plate. With 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
Close placement there by Crosby.
That's a single and a double, trying to go for the triple right here, or even maybe a bit more. Gets right down the middle for strike 1. Sun's starting to officially set here at TSP. It's been trying to sneak through the clouds all evening long. Starting just to shine through here inside the new River Valley. Pitch inside there for ball number 3, just right over here next football stadium here. James Franklin in attendance last night. Got a spring game coming up for the football team for the Hokies.
Bringing her back to home here.
And she thought that was ball 4.
I think that, again, close enough to the plate. Aldridge is a great hitter. She can absolutely put a good piece of her bat on a ball that's just off the plate here. You know, is it trimming the edge? Yeah.
She'll send this one out to right instead, and it's gone. She goes yard. Kylie Aldridge. We said she had a single and a double. Maybe she wants more. She got more.
At first you think she was going to be happy about that walk, but she came back. She said, okay, if I'm not going to walk, I might as well just put it over the fence. Great adjustments by the Hokie hitters. Again, game 1 to game 2, totally different at-bats, totally different swings that we're seeing here. Explosive, patient, waiting on this pitch. Sends it out over the right field fence.
Her 4th home run on the season, and the bench is loving it for the senior as it extends the lead now for the Hokies.
I'm always happy those trees are out there right where I park, so I appreciate the trees slowing down those long balls.
Hey, last time I was here, I was parked over there. I got a little white-knuckled a little bit to see if my truck was going to get hit. I had to park in another parking lot.
It is a danger zone. There have been several times Beamer Way, the road that runs right behind Tech Softball Park, has been in danger with some passing cars there. I believe there's even a sign on the other side of the fence that is very clear that you are at danger here.
I have a pitching change. We'll see who it is on the other side. Looks like the other freshman and Lexi Hams. We'll be right back. Perfect night for some ACC softball. We talked about the sun starting to set here at TSP in Blacksburg, Virginia. Couldn't ask for better weather here in game number 2. And we got a change inside the circle from one freshman to the other. And Lexi Hames, the freshman from Harmony, Pennsylvania, is going to make her 11th appearance on the season. Player that's still trying to build back from that January injury. Has that high velocity, but 10 strikeout game earlier this year, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Pennsylvania coming out of high school. Be the 3rd pitcher inside the circle for Clemson today. So Gabby Mazzell will set up the plate, and here's a scouting report on Hames.
Definitely a different look from Crosby to Hames. We saw lower velocity from Crosby, so the big jump in velocity, almost 10 miles an hour, will be an adjustment that the Hokie hitters are going to have to make. They did a great job kind of slowing down, being patient on the ball with Crosby's delivery, and so they're going to have to play a little bit of catch-up here with Hames.
On the other side with Pete Demore, and when you see a new pitcher come in here like Hames, being a freshman, not as much tape on her as some of the other pitchers that we see with Clemson. What's sort of the message that you get from him to his squad here as they try to face her?
You know, a lot of times it's learning from each at-bat. You know, everybody in the dugout is paying attention, and they're coming back in and they're sharing information. That's really the only way to learn quickly about a newcomer, you know, if you don't have a lot of scouting on her. So teammates being able to share, you know, what they're seeing. Typically an exchange like that with a walk, you would think the batter would kind of pause a second and be able to share a couple notes with the batter behind her, but also it's knowing your teammates. I know I had some teammates that were like, don't tell me anything. I just want to go in there with a clear mind, you know? And then I would have teammates that were really wanting a lot of information, and that's how they performed the best. So you got to be careful with that, but I think sharing anything that they can with each other from at-bat to at-bat is how they can pick up what they need to from Hames.
So Rachel Castine now with one away. Face ball number 1. 9 home runs on the year, a .391 batting average, 31 RBIs. It just goes right off the top of the glove, and what advancing to second will be Mazzell.
And Hames will need to continue to do a good job of skirting around the zone here. When you do have that higher velocity pitcher, it can leave the ballpark just as fast as she's bringing it into the plate. So she does need to be careful around the strike zone.
And that one's sent there. Castine facing the 3-0. And ball 4, so not the ideal start there. But hey, tomorrow we're gonna have a pair of series finales. Number 10, Florida State hosts the Irish of Notre Dame at Joanne Graff Field at 2 Eastern. Then at 6, we're right back here. These two teams will finish their series in Blacksburg. Both games are available on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Virginia Tech trying to get the win to tie the series up and going for the series winner on Saturday night, right back at 6 p.m. And two quick walks and a conversation. We might have a quick pull for Lexi Hames, the freshman. So a quick break here. We're going to take one with them. Virginia Tech here leading by 5. Pitching change here for now the 4th pitcher in the circle this evening. It's going to be the freshman and Maddie Johnson. And not much tape on her. Only pitched 1 inning in the game against Mississippi State earlier this year. It's on the D1 softball D100 freshman to watch list. Going to get a shot here in the circle.
And Coach Rittman described her kind of as a developmental player here. Obviously a freshman, so still kind of trying to adapt to the collegiate level, but trying to find her style, kind of find her confidence here. Tough situation to be brought into. But I'm sure Coach Rittman, his philosophy here is, hey, let's use this as some practice. Let's use this as a learning opportunity here. Let's find a way to get out of this, turn the inning over, get our batters back up to the plate.
That's just one of her teammates. What do you have what the coach is going to say, but what about your teammates? What do you say a player like this getting a chance coming in here? Very limited experience inside the circle this year.
I think especially as a pitcher, you just got to say, hey, you got this, we got this, we're right behind you. You know, you don't have to pitch perfect. I think sometimes when you come in a situation like this, freshman or not, you feel like, you know, every pitch just has to be absolutely perfect and I got to strike them out. So, you know, as a veteran or as a leader on the field, I would definitely encourage them to, you know, play together as a team. Hey, put the ball in play. It's going to be all right. We've got the gloves behind you. Let us work too.
Just knotting up the shoelaces there. Face the 2-1 with 1 away. Runners at first and second, as you saw there moments ago. Lila Blackwell, that is, will be the pinch runner. They're at first base. And there she is.
Almost saw that advancement from second to third there, but that ball really popped off the backstop straight into Hicks' glove. That's a close pitch right there to let go. Great position for the Hokies, though. Bases loaded, 1 out. We've got young pitcher in the circle.
So another walk, bases loaded, and they reset to the top of the batting order now for Virginia Tech with Addison Foster. A tough situation for the freshman here. This one sent to center. That finds green grass. It bounces off the wall. 1 runner scores. 2 runs scores. And Rose, who thought about making her way to the plate, she'll stay put at third. Addison Foster will get the double, and the Hokies extend the lead, 8-1.
Hokies on fire, really capitalizing on these pitching changes, making adjustments quick. They're really just seeing the ball huge at the plate. You see just a great, powerful swing here, getting this ball all the way to the outfield, to the fence, and that speed and that aggressiveness of the base running, you know that the Hokies are scoring minimal 1, but of course they sneak in 2 there.
They're going to say that one just went foul. We almost had one of those other full swung on and just barely makes his way past the plate there, but that time just goes foul. And the 0-1. Runners at third and second. Rose at third, Foster at second. We saw their moments go right before the replay. We see Sarah Bro made her way out there to the circle, had a quick conversation with Maddie Johnson, just trying to calm things down here for the young freshman. Given a tough task going up against a high-powering offense like Virginia Tech. That pitch goes wild, but a nice bounce that sends it right back to the plate where it won't allow any runners to advance.
Let's not forget that Sarah Bro is also a fellow freshman. You know, she's seen a lot more action than Johnson here, but she's able to relate to her teammate with that freshman mentality.
And now you're going up against the ACC Player of the Week and Jordan Lynch now.
And the thing with the Hokies too, top to bottom of the lineup, it is relentless. There is not a break. There is not a hitter that you're necessarily looking forward to facing. You just have to take it pitch by pitch.
Here's a 3-1. And Lynch had to back away from that one, and she'll advance. So bases are loaded. And Abramovich will step up to the plate. Tied for the team lead in home runs.
Yeah, not the ideal situation for the freshman pitcher to be in right here. Again, we might see her tense up a little bit, try to be perfect with these pitches, which can get you in trouble. Although Abramovich has that home run lead, she should just be looking for a good pitch to get a good swing on.
Facing a situation where VT just needs one run to hit that run rule. And just a quick visit here in the circle again with John Rittman, and he's been a busy man tonight.
And Coach Rittman is well aware of the potential run rule in this situation. He understands the pressure that he is putting on this freshman. I'm sure he is saying that right now. Hey, I know this isn't an ideal situation. Take it one step at a time. Try to let your defense work, right? We know they're going to put it in play, but try to keep them a little bit off so that they're not hitting the ball quite so hard.
All the fans out here enjoying some softball. Good crowd as the sun is officially set. Lights are on, and Hokies fans that are looking to see if their club can end things here. Rose at third with bases loaded. Foster at second, Lynch at first, Abramovich at the plate. Here's a pitch outside, ball 4, and that is going to end it.
Any kind of run rule is not what you are looking for, but ending on that walk to bring in a run. You see the Hokies excited, celebrating there together. A great comeback from game 1, making great adjustments at the plate, coming in with a fresh set of eyes in the hitter's box. We'll see what they bring into game 3, what adjustments that they make. Michelle Chatfield, Kylie Aldridge supplying the power with their home runs. Really relentless on the scoreboard for the Hokies offense. Almost every inning putting a run up there, 10 hits for them. Great work by the Hokies making an adjustment at the plate. Clean pitching, clean defense as well.
ET's 4th win versus the RPI top 25 team this season. Well, that's going to do it from TSP. A good response for the Hokies as they will tie the series up at 1, and they're going to do it all over again tomorrow night. Game 3, 6 p.m. Eastern for the series. From our entire ACC Network Extra team, our producer Evan Ellis, partner Shelby Gwynn, I'm Ford Martin saying good night from Blacksburg, Virginia. Virginia Tech, again, the final score, 9-1, as they take down Clemson and tie things up. Thanks for being with us, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night.